Dominic. All right. Once again, I'm so excited to read to you. And this book is when I was a little girl. I was probably a little older than you are right now. But I really loved this book, and we read it all the time. So I'm very excited that now I have a chance to read it to you. It's called The Sailor Dog. Okay. I'm so excited. Born at sea in the teeth of a gale, the sailor was a dog. Scuppers was his name. After that, he lived on a farm, but Scuppers, born at sea, was a sailor. And when he grew up, he wanted to go to sea. So he went to look for something to go in. He found a little submarine. All aboard, they called. It was going down under the sea. Scuppers didn't want to go under the sea. So he found a little car. All aboard, they called. It was going over the land. But Scuppers didn't want to go over the land. So many dogs. A car full of dogs. That's my dream car. Scuppers was a sailor. He wanted to go to sea. So Scuppers went over the hills and far away until he came to the sea. Over the hills and far away was the ocean, and on the ocean was a ship. The ship was about to go over the sea. It blew all of its whistles. All aboard, they called. All ashore that are going ashore. All aboard. He's racing. You can see him running with his little rucksack. So Scuppers went to sea. The ship began to move slowly along. The wind blew it. In his ship, Scuppers had a little room. In his room, Scuppers had a hook for his hat, and a hook for his rope, and a hook for his handkerchief, and a hook for his pants, and a hook for his spyglass, and a place for his shoes, and a bunk for a bed to put himself in. At night, Scuppers threw the anchor into the sea, and he went down into his little room. When I was little, this was my favorite page. I don't know why, I just loved it. I would love a little room like this. He put his hat on the hook for his hat. All right. And his rope on the hook for his rope, and his pants on the hook for his pants, and his spyglass on the hook for his spyglass, and he put his shoes under the bed, and he got into the bed, which was a bunk, and went to sleep. Next morning, he was shipwrecked. Too big a storm blew out of the sky. The anchor dragged, and the ship crashed into the rocks. There was a big hole in it. That's a big hole. Scuppers himself was washed overboard and hurled by huge waves onto the shore. He was washed up on the beach. It was foggy and rainy. There were no houses, and Scuppers needed a house. But on the beach was lots and lots of driftwood, and he found an old rusty box stuck in the sand. Maybe it was a treasure. And it was treasure to Scuppers. It was an old-fashioned toolbox with hammers and nails and an axe and a saw. Everything he needed to build himself a house. So Scuppers started to build a house all by himself out of driftwood. He built a door and a window and a roof and a porch and a floor, which you can't see as well, all out of driftwood. Then he found some red bricks and built a big red chimney. Then he lit a fire, and the smoke went up in the chimney. Because that's what it does. Oh, he looked so comfortable. And the stars came out, and he was sleepy. So he slept in a bed of pine branches. As he jumped into his deep green bed and went to sleep. And as he slept, he dreamed. if he could build a house, he could mend the hole in the ship. So the next day, at low tide, he took his toolbox and waded out and hammered planks across the hole in his ship. At last, the ship was fixed. So he sailed away until he came to a seaport in a foreign land. By now, his clothes were all worn and ripped and torn and blown to pieces. His coat was torn, his hat was blown away, and his shoes were all worn out. And his handkerchief was ripped. Only his pants were still good. So he went ashore to buy some clothes at the Army and Navy store and some fresh oranges, which are right there. He bought a coat. He found a red one, too small. He found a blue one, just right. It had brass buttons on it. Where's the red? Yeah, there's the red jacket. It's too small. Then he went to buy a hat, and he found a purple one. Too silly. He found a white one, just right. He needed new shoes. He found the yellow ones, too small. He found some red ones, too fancy. He found some white ones, just right. So here he is, with his new hat on, and his new shoes on, and his new coat on with his shiny brass buttons. He has a can of polish and a cloth to keep them shiny. Right there. And he has a new clean handkerchief and a new rope and a bushel of oranges. And now Scuppers wants to go back to his ship, so he goes there. At night, when the stars come out, he took one last look through his spyglass and went down below to his little room, and he hung his new hat on the hook for his hat, and he hung his spyglass on the hook for his spyglass, and he hung his new coat on the hook for his coat, and his new handkerchief on the hook for his handkerchief, and his pants on the hook for his pants, and his rope on the hook for his rope, and his new shoes he put under his bunk, and he put himself in his bunk. And here he is, where he wants to be, a sailor sailing the deep green sea. He even has a song. I'm Scuppers the sailor dog. I'm Scuppers the sailor dog. I can sail in a gale, ride over a whale, wonderful sail in a fog. I'm Scuppers the sailor dog. I'm Scuppers the sailor dog. With a shake and a snort, I can sail into port, wonderful sail in a fog. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sure it was a little embarrassing. Hope Julia enjoyed it too. But all right, buddy. I will see you soon. I know I say that a lot, but I really, really mean it because I miss you so much. Okay? I love you, and I will see you soon. Be good, all right? Be good to Mom. Bye.